This is Transports96 here with another video where I'm going to be talking about a new shown product from Sideshow Collectibles from their Star Wars / Bounty Hunter line. It's Zuckuss. Zuckuss is one of the 6 bounty hunters shown in The Empire Strikes Back. These bounty hunters are personal favorites of mine in the Star Wars universe. I don't know why, but I've always gravitated towards them. I love the crazy diversity of this team, even though they're not necessarily a team, but they're just a really cool, unique bunch of bounty hunters, and I've always loved the looks of them, and as a kid I've always really enjoyed them. So now I am very happy that we are getting a high-end collectible service that's making the entire group. That is really fantastic. I do plan to get the entire team, so I was super stoked by hearing that this was going to go on pre-order today. I've been refreshing my Sideshow page all day waiting for it, and it has finally gone on pre-order. So let's talk about the pictures. This isn't the first time we're seeing this product. It was shown originally at Comic-Con 2016, and then it was also at New York Comic-Con, so we've seen it at 2 other events other than now, but now we obviously have the official images, the release date, the price, and all that good stuff. And in the official images for Zuckuss, they have shown us group shots of all 6 bounty hunters together, which is super exciting, so I'll talk about that a little later, but let's first just start off on Zuckuss himself. So Zuckuss is looking quite cool. I have to say, Zuckuss to me has always had a more darker skin tone than this. This is quite light, and I think that I did do some research and look at some pictures from the film and everything, and I do believe that just, you know, on camera he does come across as a bit darker, and I've seen some toys come out that have his skin tone is darker, but the actual suit, the costume from the film, it was this kind of lighter tan rather than a light brown like I was kind of expecting it to be. So I do think that this is accurate. However, it's not necessarily what I think of when I think of Zuckuss. I think of him as slightly darker than this, but still very nice. The costume itself does have a really good leather look to it. It looks like it's almost moist, you know. It looks like there's some different shades of brown in there and everything, which is really nice. The only issue I have is kind of how it hangs. I feel like it doesn't hang super well. From the side here, that looks pretty nice, although it looks a bit thin towards the bottom, but I love the way that the sleeve hangs. I think that looks quite good. Sorry, come on. But from the front, sometimes it just kind of hangs, especially if he's just kind of standing straight up and down. It just kind of hangs very straight, and there's not a whole lot of deep wrinkles in it. I feel like this is a very heavy material that they're using, and therefore it's not going to wrinkle super naturally. However, it still does look good, and when you do force it to wrinkle, like when you have his elbow bent here, then it's going to look good. So I can imagine in some poses it's going to look better than in others. As far as articulation, based on his feet down here, like on this pose, as you can see, I mean, his foot is just to the side a little bit, and it's not flat on the floor. So I can imagine that the ankle articulation is going to be super hindered on this figure, because I don't know why they wouldn't put his foot flat on the floor. So I think that, you know, I don't quite know what Zuckuss's legs look like. I have a 3 3/4 inch version that has like a cloth-like skirt piece, so, you know, I can kind of picture his legs from that, but we obviously don't see it directly in the movie. However, he must be wearing some sort of boots or something higher that's covering the joint and therefore not allowing it to pivot very nicely. But yeah, as you can see, just looking pretty sweet. I love the texture in it. As far as the head goes, there we go, get a closer shot at that head sculpt. Obviously, super alien-like, but really cool. I mean, the texture in there looks really nice, and I love the way that it is. It has like a lighter color that's kind of been applied to it, that kind of settles in on the cracks, and then the bumps and everything on top is more of that darker tone. So there's some nice difference between the what's raised and what's lowered on the head as far as the skin texture. I think that's very cool. The eyes, there's some excellent texture in there, and I like the silver that they've gone with the eyes. The mouthpiece, or the big center section there, looking quite good, and I love the silver that they used, and the fact that they kind of dirtied it up. They added some black marks and everything to make it definitely look different from the clean silver of the eyes. And obviously same gray texture on the hoses there, and the hoses I would imagine will be pretty pliable. So as you can see, yeah, just some excellent texture there. And his little breathing apparatus, or at least that's always what I thought it was. and looking quite nice. And then he does have his gun. As you can see, I do love the way that they've sculpted the hands, the way that they had the fingers in slightly different positions, because this looks like a really natural way to hold it, and it is kind of how he holds it in the movie. So, well, actually in the movie I think that he's holding it the other way, and his other hand, it's his index finger is pointed in, and then the other one is pointed out. I'll show you a picture of that in a second. But very nice, and I do like the overall texture, and seeing that group shot. Oh, so nice. Oh, that's the group shot. That's the money shot right there. I'll talk about that a little bit more at the end here, though. But let's discuss quickly, just kind of based upon what it looks like to the figure and then what it looks like in the movie. As you can see, like, this is the main shot of Zuckuss in the movie. We do have a shot of him when they show the entire group, as you can see, and that's when you can really see the lighter skin tone that he has. But the one close-up shot that we get of him where he's standing next to Forlom, his skin does appear to be darker. Like in this shot, it looks like it's a light brown rather than a light tan. So that's something that is throwing me off. However, I do think that Sideshow is doing it accurate. It's just not necessarily what I think of immediately when I think of Zuckuss. As some in person, I feel like Zuckuss' head looked a little bit too thin. It looked like it was more of an oval rather than an actual like circle like it is in the movie. It's very circle-ish in the movie, and I was worried about that with the Sideshow figure because at Comic-Cons it really did look like an oval. Luckily, these production images they look pretty solid as far as the head shape. So I don't know if that's just an in-person thing or whatnot, but it does look pretty solid. I will say that Sideshow is pretty bad about giving us what they show. Usually their head sculpts change, and there's a lot that changes between the official images and then the actual figure that's mass released. So I am worried. Like, it looks like they've screwed up Forlom pretty good, in my opinion, at least the head sculpt. So I am worried that they could do something similar to Zuckuss. I'm hoping that will not be the case. Let me talk about the price, and then I'll end it on some of these group shots because they are just gorgeous. Whoa, where's the screen? Like, the picture's gone. That's pretty weird. Anyway, the figure did just go up on pre-order for $225, which is on the higher end of their prices, I believe. I know IG88, the reissued version was $215, and then I don't remember what Bosk is. I know that Forlom, I believe Forlom is $210. So this is the highest. It's the most expensive of the bounty hunters that they put on pre-order already, which is all of them except for Dengar. Dengar's the last one to go. So he is pretty expensive, and considering he is relatively short, however, I do think that there is a tremendous detail in the head sculpt, as well as a lot of detail in the actual body. He doesn't come with much. I certainly wasn't expecting him to come with much because, you know, he does nothing in the movie, so that would be an indication. But as you can see, you get the figure, you get two sets of hands. You know, the hands they're very odd looking. I love the design of the fingers, though, the way that they've sculpted them, but there are just kind of hands meant for kind of holding the gun lightly like he does in the movie, and then there's hands that I think are meant for holding the gun more in action poses that we don't necessarily see in the movie, but you're obviously going to want to pose them like that. And then although a base is not pictured, it is listed that it will come with a base, which most likely will just be those crappy little hexagon bases that Sideshow seems to be doing that have no logos on them, except for like on the bottom of the base there's a logo. So they're so freaking cheap, you know. I wish that Sideshow would step it up as far as what they give you, but still, he comes with what you'd expect, basically. Now, this is a limited edition of 2,000 pieces, which is what they're doing with all of the bounty hunters. Obviously, Forlom and Dengar, which will be the same, they'll be the first editions, and same thing with Zuckuss. But with IG88 and Bosk, those are reissues, and their reissued edition is 2,000. So there's more of them going around, but these the three new ones are just limited to 2,000. I'm not quite sure how limited 2,000 is. None of the others have sold out. I can't imagine it's very limited. Maybe it's like slightly less than they usually do. I don't know, you know, because they don't really give us how much they make of other figures. This is a Sideshow exclusive, so if you want to get it, you're going to have to go through their website, although there's no like extra item with it. It is just the entire figure is the exclusive, and it has gone on pre-order with free shipping, which is what they're doing with all the other bounty hunters, which I like a lot, because I buy all of my my figures through Sideshow's website, so the free shipping really helps because shipping is usually it's 10 to like 17 bucks. So to save that right off the bat, like when you pre-order it, is super nice because they don't do that with anything else. It really just seems to be like these bounty hunters, so I am happy about that. Release date is November 2017 to January 2018, which is insane. Sideshow's release dates suck. They're absolutely horrible with them. They put them on pre-order and they don't come out for like more than a year. Now luckily they don't usually get delayed. Usually when their estimated arrival time is usually pretty on par, but it still sucks that their estimated arrival time is so far away. I mean, this guy probably won't arrive to your doorstep until, you know, just after the new year in 2018, which is insane. And then, you know, we still haven't had Dengar even go on pre-order, so there's still we're gonna have to wait so long for these guys, which is super disappointing, I must say, because I am quite excited to build the team. Just comparing the group shot with the group shot that we have in the movie, as you can see, I think that they all just look awesome together. It's just such a cool team, you know. I wouldn't recommend, I mean, Boba Fett obviously, but other than Boba Fett, I wouldn't recommend any of these on their own. I think that they're nice, but they're not like amazing on their own. But as a group, that's where they really shine. You know, that's when they're absolutely fantastic. And yeah, so I would recommend this only if you're gonna build the team. So I would recommend Zuckuss is what I'm saying, only if you're gonna get them all. If you're not gonna get them all, I would not recommend Zuckuss, and I'm sure you don't even have interest in them. But this is a really solid looking team. They're all so unique and so different in very unique and special ways too, which is very cool. So I cannot wait for this Zuckuss figure and for the team in general. At the moment, I have Boss, the first edition. The one pictured here is the second edition. I have the Boba Fett Hot Toys version. And then I have Forlom on pre-order. I haven't pre-ordered that second edition IG-88 yet, but I will be doing that. I will be pre-ordering Zuckuss. And then, of course, Dengar will be going on pre-order. I would imagine pretty soon. Since he's the last one to go, they're probably going to want to complete the team already. So I would imagine Dengar will go on pre-order by the end of the year. And we'll get his price and release date. I would imagine it'll be very similar to the others. Limited to 2,000, free shipping, about 220. 225 maybe. It looks like he's got a bit more detail, especially in the face, so I would imagine him a little bit on the higher price tag, but still, that figure looks great in general. It might look like the best out of all of them, and Dengar is my least favorite out of all of them too, so that definitely helps me get excited for him. But Zuckuss is looking fantastic. Cannot wait to pre-order it, and cannot wait to get this entire team, even though I'm going to have to wait until 2018 to complete the team. Let me know how you guys feel about this figure and how you feel about the group in general. And thanks so much for watching.